We're going to talk about connecting design to delivery so that your team can hit dates and cost targets without the spreadsheet chaos. Now, if you just need an executive summary, the two practical paths here are Vault PLM for larger organizations or Fusion plus Manage Extension for smaller teams. So with that, let's dive in. Anyone remember their first business? It probably was similar to this makeshift lemonade stand. Sticky table, terrible pricing, but it was something that you were proud of. Now that spark is why any business exists. We believe that we have a product that people will value. And at first, it's likely that you have no clue about what parts you need, suppliers, or costs, and that definition comes later through teamwork and iteration. So your team starts to research what will the market pay, and then sets a target cost from your desired margin. Now, funny enough, this is also where your top level item or bill of material originates. And I have a whole other webinar specifically around this, but we'll save that for another day. But quick reality check. 79% of new products miss their target launch date. That means late revenue, overtime, and stress. And 83% miss cost goals. Cost targets get locked in early, but unexpected costs get discovered late, usually when it's too expensive to fix. So with that, we'd love to get a pulse on the audience today. And we're gonna see if the poll questions pull up quickly here, and if not, I can read them off.
All right, give me a second.
So while she's trying to pull it off, basically, which of these challenges hits closest to home in your product development process? Is it frequent design changes and delays before launch? Is it difficulty keeping engineering, ops, and supply chain aligned? Maybe too many disconnected systems or manual steps? Is it quality or supply issues discovered too late? Or none of the above, like you have everything dialed and everything's going well? And it looks like it's not pulling up today, but that's okay. Go ahead, you could type in your responses into the chat, and we can look at those at another time.
Yeah, sorry guys, the poll didn't pull, but yeah.
That's okay. So how do we change all of this? By actually managing the product lifecycle, hence the term PLM, product lifecycle management, going from idea to development to production, all the way to the end of sale and service. Now, along the way, there's always outside forces, process inconsistency, quality issues, unseen delays. We can't eliminate them, but we can design systems that absorb change instead of amplifying it. And so the goal of PLM is to reduce rework, shorten time to profit, and grow total revenue. That's why it exists. And that's why it's important to your business. Now, if you're like me, I always love a good analogy, something to help me visualize a concept. So when it comes down to the product development process, this clip probably feels pretty familiar, a lot of back and forth. Who's up next? What's blocking our path forward? What's changed now? And change isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just the nature of the game. Now, this is more likely what that back and forth looks like in your business. The real chaos isn't necessarily with your data, it's in your process. Manual data entry, mixed data formats. Did someone update that spreadsheet moments? And so PLM turns that fog into a visible, connected workflow. So by centralizing your process workflows and giving stakeholders access to the most up-to-date information when and where it's needed, you can cut out the clutter and help your team collaborate better across internal departments, as well as external stakeholders. So bringing it full circle, the purpose of PLM isn't to eliminate change, but it's to give you a clear shot at the goal, thus increasing your chances for success. So ask yourselves this: what does our process look like today? What do we do when a new requirement is developed, a risk is identified, or formal change is needed? Do we resort to spreadsheets, email, and yes, even paper to document our product development? Think about what it could mean for your business to go from something like this that you see to this, a more modern, digitized tool set. So this is going to be the key.
I think I pulled the poll, I guess. Let us know through the chat if you can see the poll. This one, which of these challenges hit closest to home in your product development process? Is that right, Bruce?
Yes, I think that's the one.
Okay, so the poll is up. So guys, if you want to help us with that, that would be great.
Okay. All right, so we're back to here. So going back to, part of the goal here is just to have a digitized tool set that can help you achieve that business growth. So by digitizing with PLM, it makes your process visible and, more important, repeatable. Now, does that sound familiar, right? You're in manufacturing. So just like a repeatable manufacturing process are necessary to scale production, repeatable business processes are needed to scale your business. So what does that look like in real life? Well, with new product introduction, this is where process meets profit. So early collaboration between engineering, operations, and supply chain saves weeks later with full program tracking and stage gates for complex organizations. The result: fewer last-minute scrambles, more predictable product launches. When it comes to change, everyone can be on the same page. Every change, big or small, follows the same rhythm. These are all the different things that can be configured exactly to how you do business. So this gives both traceability and speed. And then we talked about how having connected workflows, that digital thread means that when something shifts upstream, everyone downstream already knows what's going on. So PDM, or product data management, is all about understanding the links and relationships between CAD parts, assemblies, drawings, etc. PLM is about understanding the links and relationships between your different business processes. Now, what you see here are some of the out-of-the-box workspaces and the established links between them. So let's take, for example, that of change management. We can see that a problem report could turn into a change request, which then could become a change order, which then leads to a bill of material revision. Now, reversing this, you can now see how an item goes from version A to B, and then investigate back to why. Why did this happen? Well, there was a change order. What originated from the change order? It was the request, and going all the way back to the problem report. So in other words, ultimate traceability and accountability. We also talked about having connected business systems. So you're likely using multiple different systems to get everything done, but once again, they're disconnected and require manual data entry. PLM is how you bridge the gap between your product development teams on the left and everyone else downstream on the right with those business systems. So you're likely asking yourself, this is all great, but what exactly are you proposing are the tools that can help get us there? So there's two main paths that you can take. One would be if you're already taking advantage of Autodesk's product design and manufacturing collection, along with our PDM solution, Vault. Vault PLM is a collection that includes Vault Professional for data management and then adds Fusion Manage for process management. And you have built-in connector for the two, as well as other third-party connectors that are available as well to make that transition. Then the second path would be if you're on a smaller team or you're already taking advantage of Fusion as a platform for your product development needs. So then you're already able to enjoy the benefits of an integrated data management system. And if you want to take your business to the next level, then you can add process management by adding the Manage extension. And that gives you all the process management capabilities that we mentioned before. So one final thought before we wrap up. At the start, we talked about that rickety lemonade stand, big dreams, messy process, but pure excitement. So the goal of PLM isn't to eliminate that creativity, it's to give it structure so that the next chapter of your lemonade stand can actually deliver on time, on cost, and with confidence. So with connected systems, change stops being the enemy and becomes part of how you win. So thanks for joining us today. Let's go ahead and, that's the end result, the before and after PLM. And then let's go ahead and open it up for questions.